All right, hello everyone. Good to see ya. Paul Trani. I'm going to dive into doing some woodcut portraits in Illustrator, which will be pretty fun. So thanks so much for hanging out with me. Feel free to say hello. And I want to make sure I can see you as well. All right. Cool. Well, all right, I do see some names there. Let me just kind of scroll down a little bit more. See Lasse, Natalie, Valder, Mohammed. Cool. So I'm going to share my screen in a second. Just got to make sure everything's loading up because I'm actually broadcasting to a couple different places. Cool. There you are. Bam. We're in business. Okay, so let me go ahead and switch over, because I want to do a fun woodcut style, right? It's kind of like this. So you can see my screen here. And again, thanks for joining me. Hello again from Denver, Jerry Dare. Denver. Awesome. We have nice weather today. So I'm going to go sand some stairs today. That's my plan. So Ola, Griselda, and Jacob, good to have you here from Dubai. That's awesome. But this is kind of the cool like woodcut style that I kind of want to replicate in Illustrator. Okay, so I'm going to go for about 20 minutes and we'll get part of the way there, but then I'm actually going to, kind of finish it up later on as well. But let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to use this image. It's lovely Frida-esque type image. You used it on Friday, I think, a little bit, but we're gonna dive into this. Use your own, like a selfie of yourself would be awesome too. So, Julia, you live in Denver as well? Let me know. Bulgaria's in the house. Wow, Guatemala, awesome. So this is the photo that I'm gonna use, all right? So here we have it. I just have brought it in and I've embedded this particular image, right? So it's actually not linked anymore. If you select this image, you can go up to image trace, and that's where I wanna start. I wanna go to image trace. I'm gonna right click right here, just click on this flyout menu, and I am gonna do 3 colors, just keeping this simple. I'm gonna trace this image and vectorize it, giving it only 3 colors. So it's gonna be a black and white image, and you'll see what happens here in a second, right? Highlands Ranch. Oh, Julia from Highlands Ranch. Cool. Good to have you here. So you can see here's the image. You can't actually select anything because you notice right up here at the top you need to expand the image out, right? And not only that, you need to ungroup it as well. Okay, so now with that done, let's make sure. Yeah, there we go. So now you can see I can kind of grab these individual elements, and that's what I want to be able to do. But how I'm going to select everything, so I'm going to go in here, I'm going to select this particular dark color, and I'm going to select the same fill color. Now what I can do is I can obviously change that to anything that I want, okay? So that's kind of the starting point, okay? Typically what I do is I select, say, the darkest color, and I'll cut it, and I'll put it on a new layer, like so, okay? So I'll kind of have that, dark color, and then I'll have my mid-tone selecting that same fill color as well, right? Getting rid of that, oops. Going down here, pasting it, mid, and then we'll have our light tone. So there's our mid-tone, and then there's our light tone. Okay, so now here's the fun part, right? You know how that looks. Works fine, okay? So Lakewood, Colorado in the house. Andrew, awesome. Good to have you here, everyone. Awesome. Oh, from Maryland. Brianna's grew up in Maryland, or you're from Maryland, but grew up in Highlands Ranch. That's awesome. Okay, so now we need to get into making the pattern. So this gets even a little more tricky, okay, because I want to put some cool lines in here. So I can actually make those lines by taking our own little line and making it just a little black line, zoop, drawing this out. And what I want to do with this little line is go up to Effect, and we'll go down to Zigzag, right? So we're going to create these cross hatches, and we're going to use Zigzag in order to do that. Oh, lots of people from Maryland here. Oh, Grand Junction, Sherry, awesome. Cool. So I'm gonna make this smooth, and I'm just gonna take the size down. I'm just gonna make these squiggly lines, right? The key thing here is to make sure it's an odd number, okay? When I make sure it's an odd number, right, it's gonna make sure the ends match up, right? So that's what's happening there. Click OK. I could do this a couple different ways. I could like do a blend. Actually, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna do this simply like boop. Let's bring this down like that. Wait for it. Let's zoom in on that so everybody can see it a little bit better. Grabbing this particular line, bringing it down a little bit, Command D, right? So we're just creating our pattern real fast. That being said, with that done, I'm gonna select all those elements. We're gonna go to into Object, Pattern, Make. We're gonna make this pattern. It says, hey, you know what? We've expanded it out and did some other things. So I'm gonna go call it Zig 1. And I just like, I don't know, the perfectionist in me kind of wants to make these all kind of like the same size. Do I do that? Maybe not. Anyways, let's leave it as is. That looks pretty good. This is our pattern maker, right? So as I bring one more little pattern up here, we can see that it's perfectly like symmetrical. Everything looks good, right? Cool. That looks good to me. You know what? Let's increase the size maybe by 2 and let's click done. This is our dark pattern right here. Can you see it right over here? There it is. There's the pattern we just made. Now all we need to do, and I can actually just get rid of those, I can select all my dark colors and I can change it to that dark pattern that I just made. Like that. Looks like it's off a little bit, but I have that pattern in there. There's one little issue, but the great thing is, all I need to do is double click on that pattern and go in here and make sure everything's aligned just right. It looks like it's off a touch. So all I did is vertically distribute to the bottom, okay? And again, it's kind of off still a little bit more, but I think actually would make this look even better is if there were more lines and they were more tightly put together. So let's just do this. This is the look that I actually like, something kind of like this. There we go. Does that look a little bit better? I don't know, but the great thing is each time I change this pattern, I'll click done. You could see it's changed it in here, and now I have those double lines. So that's exactly what I do for this whole illustration, okay? What's up, Rob Locker from Tempe, where it's 100 degrees? What? Poland's in the house. Good to have you here. Let me know if you have questions. I'm kind of scanning chat right now because I'm gonna make this a little bit more advanced. You ready for this? Are you ready? First, I'm gonna apply this a couple more things. I'm really excited about this. Let's select the same fill color, and then guess what? I already have some patterns squared away over here. Let's go to large thumbnail view. So I already have some other patterns in here that I can play with. So I'll click in this one. This is a zigzag that's a little more loose, right? So it has a little bit more spacing in it, right? That gives me that look. Let's select this. I actually really like that gray. But what I can do is I can come in here, select this last one. We'll make this one like really light as well, right? So we have these different levels. But guess what? I can make this dark even darker. What's up, Jerickson? Okay, so check this out. Like, I could play with this even more because for this dark one, and I'm actually gonna duplicate this layer just so we have a backup. But for this dark layer, and let me turn off everything else. For this dark layer, I can add more patterns in here. So I could come in here, I can add an additional pattern, right? And it could be a different zigzag, right? Going not only at a different thickness, but check this out. I could even rotate it and flip it around. So coming over here, I'm gonna go to the rotate tool. I'm just gonna double click on it. Oh, hello, cancel. Don't double click on it. Wait, what am I doing wrong? Turn off transform objects. So that's what I'm doing. Turning off transform objects. Double click on the rotate tool, turn off transform objects, and now it's just gonna rotate that pattern 45 degrees. I could click OK. And guess what? You can change the opacity, right? So we get this like more interesting kind of fun little pattern in there as I just start to play with the darks in here. So again, I kind of like that. Hopefully you like that, right? from one pattern, rotating it around. Guess what? We could scale it up and down as well. So let's just see how this looks with the midtones and the highlights. It's okay. Oh wait, did I miss one? Oh, I might have missed some spots. That is okay. Might have missed some spots. Did I miss some? I did. I actually really like it like this with this stark white, to be honest with you. So again, let's go back in here. Let's change this opacity. I'm just gonna crank this up some more. I only actually did it for, it looks like just the hair. But again, what I'd probably wanna do is select everything. Select same fill color, hit I, sample it. But basically, I actually need to do that with all of these as well. So over here for the eye, I can have a different pattern. Boom, there it is. Let's change it up. Select this part underneath this eyebrow. Let's select this pattern, right? Just kind of making it a little darker in there. So again, it gets kind of trippy. It's kind of fun, right? I'm glad you guys like this. My next goal is to make these lines get thin as they reach the edge, right? So that's ultimately what I want to do. And that's what I might try to do right now. So let's just try this, huh? Hopefully everybody's having a good day, staying safe. You know, I tried that, by the way, Fran. I tried to eyedrop to adopt the patterns, but it actually, to be honest with you, did not work. So I'll select right over here. I hit I for eyedropper. I came up here and clicked on it, and it doesn't seem to apply it, I guess, if you have multiple appearances. But what you can do in that case, let's just try this. With this pattern, I can turn this whole appearance, its entire appearance, into a graphic style. So right down here, once you have this pattern made and all this complexity added, you can add it as a graphic style. With that added as a graphic style, now I can go down here, select this part, click, and I've added that as a graphic style. And what's cool is I could obviously use that in my next project as well, right? Graphic styles, that's just basically this appearance panel, all this complexity rolled into here, right? Okay, you get the idea. Let's come in here really fast. I'm gonna select this piece. I'm just gonna try this expand the fill. Yeah, looks like what I want to do is actually a little bit more complex than anticipated. Because you can expand it, but when you expand a fill, it actually puts it in a clipping mask is what happens, just so you know. So I'm going to undo that a couple times. I personally like the flexibility to go back into this fill, for instance, just called Zigzag 2 is what I used. And I can go to Zigzag 2, double click on it, and take a look at it, select them all, and if I want to make this look a little bit more organic, let's change the thickness of this line to be non-uniform, right? So I just added this width profile. Now it's like thick and thin, and this is going to add that like art look that I'm kind of looking for. So let's just see if that works. We'll click OK. Oh yes, that's what I wanted. These thick and thin lines, right? Just give it some depth and make it look a little bit more unique. So into it, with that being done, do the same for this one. Let's go into this pattern, selecting all these lines. Let's make the strokes non-uniform. In fact, let's get really crazy. Let's go with this really unique width profile called variable width. Just some variable width lines, click OK, and now you can see it actually has like a lot more character, which is kind of fun. So you get the idea. I could go on and on with this. I encourage you, like if you want to make this even more complex, by the way, go back to your, I don't even have my original photo. Oh man. I don't have my original photo. Bummer. But I like this. You could bring in a photo, and let's just do this really fast. This is my new one. You can outline a photo and do 6 colors instead of just 3, and then really make it try purple please just one more time. That's actually what I was planning on doing, is actually just trying out colors, for instance. So let's go in here, let's add some purple for Afroja. For this purple, by the way, I'll go in here and I'm going to change this to color. Let's see how that looks. Not bad. But I'm just changing the blend mode. Let's try lighten. You get the idea. Okay, just playing with different color modes. But this is just an easy way to kind of tint it. You get the idea. Cool? All right, so now you know how you can make something like this piece. If I pull that up. You know, this one. That has a lot more detail. With those individual lines, right? So I'll show you guys how to do that in Photoshop sometime, probably another day. But look at that. Look at how nice that is. All right, everybody. Dave Clayton, what's up in the house? And this is being recorded, so not to worry. You get the idea. By the way, if I wanted to add colors, I would actually go in and change the patterns. I used only black and white right in here, but I could just as easily for these midtones. So I'll just make sure I have the right pattern. It's this one right here. This pattern. We're gonna make this like a pink, right? And then we will go to, remember this dark color is actually 2 patterns applied. It is the, wait for it. Oh, it's both the dark patterns. So let's just go in here. Let's grab this. Let's change this to purple. Click done, right? Let's duplicate this pattern. The second pattern, this is gonna be, let's go like orange, just for the sake of making this different. And then select same fill colors everywhere, actually. Changing the hair. There we go. You get the idea. I'm making this look like a mess now. But Quentin, you did miss this, but you know what? Yeah, it's being recorded, so you got it. You got it. So thanks for hanging out with me. My name is Paul Trani. You guys have been wonderful. Let's just bring up this final one real fast. There we are. And yeah, try it out for yourself. Try it out on a photo of yourself. And by the way, if you're interested, if you go to behance.net/live, I'm going to be live tomorrow morning, and we're going to do some cool selfies. And I'm starting to think about applying this look to selfies. So you got it. Joanna from Atlanta, Georgia. Wow, yeah, you got your state's in the public eye right now, basically. So thanks, Sayed, Quentin, Archie, Afroja, Faisal, everyone. You guys have a beautiful day. I really appreciate you. Stay safe out there. Wash your hands. Call your mom. Get a good night's sleep. You know, all the things that we should be doing. But hopefully everybody's safe. And thank you so much for watching. And tune in to my social medias for the final that I ended up making.